My name is Shorty Harris. Don't bother to applaud. I'm here strictly for the cash. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those of you who aren't too sure, you are about to witness what is almost certainly the world's greatest demonstration of ventriloquism. Ventriloquism dropped dead. Now.
That was ventriloquist Terry Rogers, a pioneer who broke ground in her field as a transgender performer in the mid to late 20th century. Despite her success and critical acclaim, Rogers never received an obituary in the paper of record, the New York Times, when she passed away in 1999. Rogers finally received that recognition in the new book entitled Overlooked, a celebration of remarkable, underappreciated people who broke the rules and changed the world. And joining us now is the book's co-author, Amy Padnani. She is an obituaries editor for the New York Times and the creator of the paper's Overlooked series. Amy, thank you for coming on the show this morning. So who had this idea? It's a great idea. Where did the concept come from?
Oh, thanks so much for asking, and thanks for having me. So I joined the obituaries desk in 2017. This book is essentially based on a project I started a year later. It's called Overlooked. And basically, we would get these emails from readers, so I credit our readers. They said, why don't you have more women and people of color in your obituaries pages? And I thought, yeah. Why don't we? I mean, I would really like to see more people like myself, for instance, represented. Yet we were seeing largely a slate of men, mostly white men. And so I set off on this journey to see how we could balance a report when I stumbled upon these fascinating people in history who I learned never got a New York Times obituary. And so I proposed a series where we write their obituaries now. And so that began in 2018. We've published some 250 obituaries for remarkable people, mostly women, people of color, people from the LGBTQ community, people with disabilities. And this book contains 66 obituaries of those people, about 24 of which have never been published before in the newspaper.
Sort of extraordinary, though overlooked perhaps in the obituary pages, but people who have left a real imprint on this nation. Tell us a little bit about Ida B. Wells.
Oh gosh, Ida B. Wells, I think every journalist, especially every woman journalist, she's just an absolute hero. She pioneered investigative methods of reporting, and she started a campaign against lynching. She risked threats to her own life to publish articles about the injustices that were occurring in her lifetime. And so it was really interesting because we had a front page notice about her wedding in the New York Times, but absolutely nothing about her death.
That is what is striking to me, because it would be unimaginable to me you wouldn't have Ida B. Wells' obituary. What is the criteria they were using to decide that who gets a written obituary or not?
Yeah, you know, I can only surmise why all of these people were overlooked. It's still confounding to me. I had a couple of thoughts. You know, we didn't always have an obituaries desk, so it would have been up to other sections like the national desk, perhaps, to write about these people. Maybe there was just a busy news day. Maybe a person died in obscurity, or maybe simply an editor didn't think they were worthy of an obituary at the time.
I mean, there's
just amazing.
Just names here. You just really Sylvia Plath, Alan Turing. I mean, these again, the names are well known today. It's hard to believe that Sylvia Plath was overlooked, as well as the guy that broke the Nazi code and helped win World War II for the U.S. and the British.
Yeah, you know, I kind of thought maybe with Alan Turing, he was more of a British phenomenon, and perhaps we were more U.S. focused at the time. I also wondered with Sylvia Plath, you know, I looked back at old clips, and she's often referred to as the wife of Ted Hughes. So I don't think she quite got the recognition in her lifetime that we're aware of today. One of the big benefits of Overlooked is that you can not only recount the person's life and achievements, but you can see what their impact was in the many decades since since their death. And these names are extremely surprising, and I think we're very worthy of including in this project. But there are so many unsung heroes as well who have changed our worlds that you may never have heard of. Or we have a whole section called Capturing Your Imagination. These are people who just did quirky things, and we don't even know, what compelled them. Annie Edson Taylor, she was the first to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel and survive. There were others who did not make it. There were people since her as well. So it was her 60th birthday. She wanted to get rich quick, actually. It was a get rich quick scheme during the World's Fair, and she did not get rich, but it's really interesting that she came up with this idea.
Wow.
What?
That is insane.
Okay, the new book, Overlooked, we'll just have to read it. A celebration of remarkable, underappreciated people who broke the rules and changed the world. It's out now. Amy Padnani, thank you very much for bringing it to us. Congratulations on the book. Thank you.
Thank you so much.